Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Hail and howdy, everybody. I am Adam, the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the audience, are in charge. You make the show happen. You direct traffic. You are the creative driving force behind everything. I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. It's hump day. It's hump day. I guess we call it hump day because it's the middle of the week. I like to be calling it hump day because I'll be maybe doing something else. But anyway, it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. Things are rolling along. Last night was a fun night. We finished our, what I hope is forever be the final coverage I ever do of Wheel of Time. I did my autopsy stream. You can catch it. It is still up and checking it out. And let's see. What do we got on the menu today? I don't know. Do I have anything that I want to talk about directly? Not that I know about. I mean, I did save that Dune stuff from yesterday, but I kind of feel like that's better saved for next week's Mellow Mondays, where I could talk about it with the guys. I don't know. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. But I don't have anything directly I want to talk about. I know there is some things going on out there that you guys may want me to react to, because I do know that a Fantastic Four trailer dropped today. I haven't seen it. I spent my morning in the kitchen doing some prep work for dinner later tonight so that I don't have to do it because I got to go out when we're done here into the world. I got to go touch grass and walk amongst the peoples and get stuff done. But yeah, so there's a Fantastic Four trailer out there. I guess there's some news happening here and there. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll check it out. We'll look at it. So how you guys doing? Hail the goddess, hail Algrim. Good old-fashioned mods doing their work. The ginger is here. Hail to the ginger. He does the best he can. He's a ginger. Hail Raichu, how are you? Hail everybody else coming on in right now. I'm buying for time right now because I don't have any bits planned. I got nothing as we get started here, as people are rolling in. And yeah, I guess the big news, I mean, we sort of talked about it yesterday, the fact that it's Switch 2 launch night. It's Switch 2 launch night. Everybody's excited for the Switch. And I maintain what I said yesterday. I maintain that this whole excitement is based off a single game. It's based off a single game. And it's a game that people are probably going to love, but it's not a game that I feel like should be carrying the launch. Mario Kart World should not be the thing that is carrying a launch. Concord 2 announcement. I don't think so. Now there is the PlayStation State of Play today, but it's happening at like 4. It's happening at like 5:00 my time. So tomorrow, if you guys want me to go over this PlayStation Play, the State of Play tomorrow, if you want to go over the State of Play tomorrow, we could always do that tomorrow. I was hoping it would go live while we were doing this today, but it's going at 5. It's going at 2 p.m. Pacific, which means 5 p.m. my time. I am a Donkey Kong hater. F Donkey Kong. F Donkey Kong. I've never liked Donkey Kong my entire life. Forget it. Forget Donkey Kong. Anyway, so just a quick little update too. We are pushing for the channel to reach 4,000 subs this month. We're getting there. It was at 3971 when I woke up this morning. It went back down one, but we are 30 away. 30 away. We're going to get there. I feel it. We're going to get there, and then weird and wonderful things are going to happen. So, guys, share out the stream, share out the channel, spread the good word. Let's get it going. Oops, there we go. Let's get it going. Let's get the channel to 4,000. We can do it this month. I have great faith that we can happen this month. I know it can happen. Anyway, so I mean, yeah, I just don't like Donkey Kong. I had Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo when it came out. I played it once. I beat it once, and I never played again. And I owned it too. I had it purchased for me. I never liked it. Never really enjoyed it. I found it boring. Just not fun. Not fun at all. Anyway, so without further ado, I got nothing else to really kind of dance around and play around with. So why don't we check out the headlines for the day? Oh, no, wait. Something just came in. Because I believe what it wants to be, but it hasn't arrived yet. So I'll wait a couple seconds. But yeah, so let's get to the articles. Yeah, Jed, you're right. DK is not a launch title. We talked about this on Sunday. A mainline Mario game is a launch title. Smash Bros. Is a launch title. Pokemon is a launch title. Zelda is a launch title. Donkey Kong's not a launch title. Kirby's not a launch title. I mean, you could say Metroid could be a launch title, but that's like still 3 months away. It's not here. It's out. All they got is remasters and World. And the fact that you have the new Switch. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. So there we go. That's all there is. And there it is for $20 from Kel for the 40K video. Twitter DMs. Indominus Crusade. There it is. So it's what Kel wants to start calling Warhammer Wednesdays. Warhammer Wednesdays. I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. Oh, it's not coming. Okay, so okay, that's what you meant. It still isn't a launch title. I don't think Donkey Kong is worthy as a launch title, even though I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's worthy to be a launch title. I don't. Donkey Kong is a tertiary character. Yeah, Cam, I got it, Kel. We got it. So Warhammer Wednesdays. I guess there was a delay. You probably sent it first and then said the DM there's some sort of delay. Yeah, it's just I don't understand. Nintendo's being very dumb about this other thing. We've covered that. And if you guys want to talk about that more, we can talk about that more. I'm sure there'll be an article we can dive into that if you guys want to. Oh, see, I don't know. I apparently I missed this last night. He has hinted at me that it's cringe as fuck. So anyway, all right. So let's get into the articles. Let's see what's going on around the world today. Anything cringe enough to make me cry? I'm sure there is. Let's take a look. Oh, and Kel, now before I forget again, I'm going to DM you something after the show. Just I need your input on something real quick. So I will send it to you after the show. So be ready for that. I remember to tell you that before I forget again. I've been forgetting for 2 days. All right. Articles. We start as usual out at Variety. Justin Baldini, Jay-Z, and Smokey Robinson are countersuing their accusers, but New York's Speak Your Truth Act could level the playing field in defamation suits. So yeah, apparently Blake Lively lost in court yesterday to Justin Baldini. We know I don't care about any of this shit. I think they're all horrible people. And I'm glad that nonsense is coming to an end. Lupin writer Tony Saint working on action thriller series King's Ransom set in elite boarding school. I feel like, I believe Lupin is a live action ripoff of Lupin the Third, an ancient anime from Japan. And I've never liked Lupin the Third. I've never enjoyed that. Some people live by it. They praise. They put it on the Mount Rushmore of anime. I've always hated it. So some black dude race swapped to be Lupin. I guess. Not interested. I guess it's got a couple seasons in it. As star director and executive producer of Will Trent, Ramon Rodriguez transforms the procedural genre with emotional storytelling and UPOV. I've never heard of it. Don't care. Miley Cyrus. I don't care about anything. Miley Cyrus. That chick is a broken monstrosity of a human being. Rainmaker trailer. Rudy Baylor goes on offensive in USA Network legal drama. USA still making shows? Wait a minute. USA is still making shows. News to me. Aha singer Morton Harkett reveals he has Parkinson's disease, says he's not sure if he'll sing again. Well, that's tough. Parkinson's is a horrible disease. It's taken many people away from us, including Michael J. Fox. Quiver Distribution buys Bella Thorne thriller St. Clair. Sure. Lionsgate boss says studios can use AI to adjust a movie's rating and create kid-friendly cuts. Do it anime. Make it PG-13. 3 hours later, I'll have the movie. That's weird. That's weird. Don't make things kid-friendly. Just make kid-friendly shit. Don't bastardize stuff to make it kid-friendly if it's meant for adults. No. Canned stuff, don't care. Harrison Ford honored by Operation Smile in LA. Cynthia Erivo and Danielle Brooks share a huge NYC and more. Oh my God. So more back padding. Let's go back in time. See what we got here. How 10 Ranch Entertainment hopes to ride the Yellowstone wave to redefine the Western genre. Listen. First 2 seasons of Yellowstone, first season and a half of Yellowstone was good. For me, it started to fall off by the end of season 2, and I checked out for season 3 and beyond. And I'm glad I checked out because I saw how it ended, and that's a bullshit ending. So I was okay. When I first saw it, I'm like, wow, this is like Godfather in the West. It's kind of cool. And then it just quickly fell apart for me. And I personally, I know some people would not want to hear this, but I'm going to say it because guess what? I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not a fan of Westerns. I can count on one hand the amount of Westerns I probably enjoy in my lifetime. I just don't like Westerns. I really don't. I like some people in Westerns, or some people that define the genre. Like I love John Wayne. I honestly prefer John Wayne World War II movies more than John Wayne Westerns, honestly. But I just don't like Westerns, and I don't want to see them come back. I think they are a boring genre. Gonna tell the truth. Studio Canal shutters Happy Valley outfit Red Production UK. Well, something else canceled. Don't care. ABBA's Bjorn Ulvaeus reveals he's writing a new musical with AI. It's fantastic and such a great tool. I don't care about the whole AI thing. I really don't. I really do not. Ryan Reynolds and Colin Hanks documentary John Candy, I Like Me, to open Toronto Film Festival's 50th edition. Honestly, anything involving a Hanks, especially Colin Hanks, who is one of the original Nepo babies from the 90s, I don't want to hear or see anything. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds. I admit he's a guilty pleasure. But anything Colin Hanks, I just cast doubt on because that dude is a massive freaking Nepo baby, and he's got no talent. And his family is a bunch of creepy weirdos, to be honest. Will Ferrell's Eurovision movie becoming Broadway musical? No, thank you. Snow White gets Disney Plus streaming date in June. Oh, and how much do you want to bet we're going to get a headline? Snow White, #1 on Disney Plus. How much you want to bet we're going to get that headline? How much you want to bet? Meaningless. McClintock is my favorite John Wayne movie. It is my favorite John Wayne movie. I love McClintock. We've done it on Drive-In. And Magnificent Seven, the original Magnificent Seven is, of course, glorious. Yul Brynner, all kinds of badasses. That's fine. That's like on the one-hand county thing, that's on there. But yeah. So all right. So let's keep going. Let's go. Let's get through these. The Summer I Turned Pretty adds Isabella Briggs. Bunch of young actresses I don't know. Dallas Cowboys Cheerleader Season 2 trailer promises high kicks and higher drama for America's Sweethearts. Listen, cheerleaders used to be the hottest thing in the world. Nobody cares about cheerleaders anymore. They don't. And I don't need a reality show about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Anything else here? Lilo and Stitch Battle Ballerina for box office crown, and John Wick spinoff targets $30 million opening weekend. Lilo and Stitch will probably win the weekend again. It's on its way to $1 billion. We talked about that last week. We talked about it last weekend on Drive-In. It's crossed 600 million. It will pull out another 400 million in its run. It's only 3 weeks in. It's got at least another month and a half in theaters. It'll get to $1 billion. John Wick Ballerina, I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff going on about that, about curated reviews and stuff like this. So it's got a lot of, let's just say, interesting, unflattering stories surrounding its release. Now, I'm not going to go see it because I don't care. Yes, I would do all kinds of things to Anna de Armas, but I'm past that point where a hot chick is enough for me to go see a movie. I'm way past that point. Don't care. Criterion Collection release was Wes Anderson Archive. Here's the producer, the pre-order for the 4K box set. All right, I'm going to say this. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I don't care about 4K. I wish the 4K hype would cease. Personally, there is something about the way it looks on 4K that is discerning to me. It's too hyper real. There needs to be a certain level of, for lack of a better term, film grain that separates it. I'm on my TV here. I have the setting on my TV here that doesn't make it look like somebody's in the room with you. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like it. 1080p is good enough for me. And it's not because there's anything wrong with my eyes. It's just because it looks normal. I don't like this 4K hype. And frankly, 4K alters the color scaling too. It changes the color in a way I don't like either. So enjoy your 4K, but I'm tired of hearing 4K. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. No more. There, my feelings on 4K. I'm sure I'm gonna have to repeat that self forever. Okay. Hollywood Reporter, Inside Hollywood Succession Wars. What Succession Wars? There's no Succession Wars. They find somebody who's going to carry the water for another bunch of years, or they just find somebody who is easily manipulated by secret puppeteers. That's what it is. There's no Succession Wars. Give me a break. Stephen A. Smith to launch 2 new shows with Series 7. I hate Stephen A. Smith. I always have. I've hated him ever since he first appeared 15 odd years ago, and I hate him now. Tony Awards. Nobody cares about the Tony Awards. Let's keep going. Hollywood Reporter has nothing for us lately. Mandy Patinkin and Catherine Grody are still trying to sell their new show season again. Fun fact: my mom used to do Mandy Patinkin's hair when in the 70s and in early 80s when he was doing work in New York. My mom used to do his hair back way back in the day, right before I was born. And little fun fact. Just one of the many celebrities my mom knew when she was working in hair in New York. Many things. She's the one that kept his hair as good as it was for years before it finally all went away. So there you go. Fun fact. Monster High movie enrolls Megan director Gerard Johnson. I just stuttered there for some reason. Don't know. Letitia Wright overcoming imposter syndrome for directorial review. Ryan Coogler Prophecy. Whatever. Let's check TV. Max and Hall season 2 premiere. Don't know what that is. Again, USA still makes shows. Fascinating. Didn't know that. All right, let's go. Before we go on that, the Ginger Hollywood Scholar for a 2-month member message. I'm still interested in Ballerina because Anna is hot, but yeah, there are some concerning things around it. Blonde is not worth watching for her. Yeah, I remember hearing about. I think you told me about for Blonde is worth watching for her movies. Yes, I've seen the clips. Oh, my camera went out again. What the hell? Camera went out again. Hold on a second. That's been happening. I'm going to have to unplug and replug it in again. What's going on there? Thanks, StreamYards. Yes. Listen, Anna de Armas is a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. And I would worship at her altar if it meant I'd ever get to touch it. But I'm not so simpy enough to go see it. Thank you, Jed, for the 2-month member message. And you know what? It's June. It's June. No, I'll save it for Sunday. It's a Sunday thing we do. We do it on a Sunday, unless I forget. All right. IGN, as Nintendo Switch 2 launches in Japan, because it's already tomorrow in Japan. It is. Shops restrict sales to lottery winners, and Nintendo official stores aren't stocking Switch 2 at all. So there's Nintendo stores, and they're not selling their own product? Seriously, what is wrong with Nintendo? What is wrong with them? There is something seriously wrong with their marketing for this whole entire console launch. Still going to be huge, but there's something wrong with them. Elden Ring Night Rain players love to pick up items, but want some extra clarity around what they're looking at. If you're going to have a game, make sure the item detail screen actually tells you what it does. Don't just give me flavor text. Give me actual usage. Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 are out now. It's already exploding on Steam. I have no idea what that is. I'm not sure I want to. What? Arnold was shocked to see his son's weenie in the White Lotus. So a Nepo baby took his dick out on a show. Okay, great. Fortnite Switch 2 technical specs revealed. 60 frames per second, boosted resolution, mouse controls. Say it before and I'll say it again. I don't care about Fortnite. Never going to play it. And frankly, if it went away, the world would be a better place. I'm going to say that. The world would be a better place without Fortnite. Really, gaming world would be a better place. Nintendo Switch 2 backwards compatibility locked behind day one update. Version 20.1.1 system patch notes revealed. That makes sense. I don't see that as a major thing to get upset about. So you have to update it to get backwards compatibility. Not a big deal. Modern Family's Rico Rodriguez reveals he got played into doing things for Sofia Vergara and Skit. Listen, I would do all kinds of things for Sofia Vergara. I'll do all kinds of things for her. that woman remains on the MILF Mount Rushmore right there, dude. She's just there. AI prompts will soon let a 10-person team build a game like Breath of the Wild, where the AI is doing all the dialogue and you just write character synopsis. Tim soon predicts. No. Here's why that is a bad thing. AI is great for a tool for constructing a game. I can understand that. But it will not. An AI will never have the nuance of character creation that a human will. At least not in the next immediate 10 years, 20 years or so. Don't do that. So, wide news. The Mario Kart version 1.10 day one update unlocks online play, allows you to select more characters from the start. Patch notes detail. Good for Mario Kart players. You're going to have a lot of fun. And there it is. New Fantastic Four first step trailer reveals Baby Franklin. Oh, thanks for spoiling it. We might have watched it. I hadn't watched it yet. So I guess Franklin Richards, well, we already knew he was going to be in the movie because of the toy. We already talked about that. But there is the Fantastic Four trailer. If you guys want me to react to it, we can do that today too. We can do that. No Man's Sky won't charge for its Nintendo 2 Switch Edition. Launches alongside console with cross-save and cross-play. Once again, they're in the never-ending mea culpa. Good for that, but I will never forgive them. Even after the video we watched, I will never forgive Sean. Never will. Never. Responsibility. Nintendo acknowledges desire for Mario Kart World 200cc mode. Leave store open. Post-launch patch. Yeah, great. Don't care. Is Witcher 4 tech demo what Witcher 4 will actually look like? We asked CD Projekt Red. We've heard all the talk about that. That's not even a story I'm going to do on Sunday because it doesn't matter. It's a tech demo. The game's not ready yet. Talk to me when the game's ready. Subnautica 2. I never played the first ones. Balatro creator explains why it doesn't have a microtransactions, ads, or season passes. Because they're smart. Fuck microtransactions. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 devs tear up the rulebook. Let the Bulwark class use a Thunderhammer only because we think it will be very cool. I would have to ask the hardcores if they are okay with that. I mean, if it makes game fun, cool. If the hardcore fans are okay with it, then I wouldn't complain. Time limited release Super Mario 3D All-Stars just got updated for Switch 2 alongside numerous other games. Horror hit Phasmophobia. The next game to get a Hollywood. Oh, why are you making a Phasmophobia game? Give me a break. Dr. Doom, not a Fantastic Four. Director claims that fans still expect a Robert Downey Jr. post-credit scene because they will film. We've already learned they will film a post-credit scene after movie is done and tack it on. Dr. Doom, not a Fantastic Four. There you go. Okay, now we're in rollover for yesterday. Okay, there it is. We're black somehow. Oh boy. All right, let's keep going. Screen Rant. I threw Screen on here. We haven't done Screen Rant in a few days. Let's see what they got. That's what we got. No Dr. Doom. Nicolas Cage, under the radar movie with 90% Rotten Tomato score becomes Netflix global hit 4 years later. Why did Lucasfilm cancel Star Wars The Acolyte, and was it a mistake? The Acolyte proved to be among Star Wars' most controversial projects, if not the single most controversial show. But was canceling it the right move? Just shut up. Just shut up, you stupid cow. I guarantee that is a brain melt article. Guarantee it. I'm excited for Abby's story in Last of Us Season 3, but the show shouldn't have followed the game's structure. Wow. Here's I guarantee that Kara Hadash 3 years ago was hailing Last of Us 2 Part 2 as the greatest game ever. I guarantee. And now if you're saying the show should abandon it, hypocrite. Guarantee. Aaron Paul's favorite Breaking Bad moment. I'd never watched Breaking Bad. I don't care about Breaking Bad. I don't care if it's one of the greatest shows ever. I don't care. Don't care. Finally, one of Webtoon's most popular series to date is getting its own anime, and it looks so good. I don't like it when that kind of thing happens. Anything that starts as a Webtoon is usually shit. Rick and Morty still happening? Oh, don't care. Christopher Nolan called another director of the new Ridley Scott, but 30 years later, it's clear he was wrong. I don't watch Apothecary Diaries, so don't care. Is there anything else here of remote interest? Young Avengers MCU future looks bright after Billy Maxwell star Joe Locke's recent contract comments. That's right. Give us gay new Avengers. Just do it. Just do it. Burn it down faster. 6 Karate Kid Legends characters who they replaced from the original movie. Sure. Lincoln Lawyer Season 4. Don't watch it. Don't care. New mystery TV show is a rare 2-week run at the very top of Netflix streaming charts. Okay. Anything here? 10 actors who could be a perfect James Bond in 007 First Light. I still say just slap either Brosnan or Sean Connery in there. That's what I say. All right, that's enough of that. Wait, Thor is dead, and honestly, Thor is dead, and honestly, Marvel fans should have seen. Oh, died in the comic. Oh, comics are dead. Marvel comics are dead. Nobody cares. All right, let's check Kotaku. Fortnite Switch 2. Telling you how to beat bosses again in Night Rain. Telling you how to do things in Night Rain. Fuck you, Kotaku. That's from Fortnite's going. We talked about that yesterday. They're a day late on that story. We already talked about that yesterday. No Man's Sky. So they're behind in their stories. So fuck Kotaku. Bounding into comics. I saw this earlier today. Marvel Comics introduced T'Challa's white son, Katema, as future Black Panther and King. That's funny if it's real. If it really comes to it, depends. I've heard a lot of discussion that it's bait to lure in the rankings. But either way, it's funny. Park Place, real news. Let's refresh real quick here. Real news is Marvel's new Black Panther is white. Yes, seriously. Okay, there it is again. Jeff Cayley struck with excommunication note after allegedly misrepresenting Witcher 4 footage. Disney fans use 2019 Tom Sawyer Island tweet to call out company for erasing legacy of Walt Disney. Hang on. Xbox pushes Pride imagery on social media while PlayStation and Nintendo focus on video games. How Halo bucks trend with Pride cosmetics while Halo subreddit bans men's mental health awareness month posts. Yeah, okay. Keep going, Xbox. Keep going. Blake Lively moves to withstand emotional distress claims. Yeah, we already learned that. Cynthia Riva. This is yesterday. That's yesterday. Okay, so that's our news articles. You guys have some thoughts about that. If you want any of them, you know the rules of the game. $10 for an Adam Rand, $15 for an instant take on an article, no prep time, $20 to make me watch stuff, and $30 to make me watch an episode of television or a movie and give you guys a live review on this stream. So them's the rules. Let's check stream elements. Okay. Another $20 from Kratos, El Grados. Here's some pain to offset pleasure from Kel. Darlene is Spiritual by Brandon Rogers. He will DM me the link. All right. Okay, so thank you, Kratos. So we got 2 videos to watch. No one seems to want to make me watch the Fantastic Four trailer, which means that might happen another day, and we might just save it for Roundtable this weekend. If it doesn't happen, I might just put it on Roundtable. So there's that. All right, so let's get those first videos up. let's do the nice first. So Kel has sent me the link in the DMs. We've got what is the Indomitus Crusade Warhammer 40K lore for $20. Come on, paste. There we go. From $20 for $20 for pause every time. Every time. Every time. Okay, ooh, this is 43 minutes. So we're gonna have some fun, and then Kratos and possibly other things afterwards will melt the brain. This is the most modern timeline for 40K. Okay, so we are so this is current day, so to speak, in current day in 40K. All right, so here we go. We are back with more. What's this guy's name again? We're back with more Arbiter Ian. More Arbiter Ian, who we enjoyed his last one, giving us the deets on the Horus Heresy. That was cool. That was cool. So here we go. What is the Indomitus Crusade? Let's go.
The biggest ongoing plotline in the lore of Warhammer 40k, a massive push by the Imperium of Man to reconnect its lost outposts in the wake of a galactic catastrophe. It's been retold in novel series, campaign books, and video games, the backdrop to almost every event in 40k lore for the last few years.
Okay.
So, if you want to be brought up to speed, let's delve into the history of the Indomitus Crusade so far.
All right, and always remember, if you enjoy Arbiter Ian, go subscribe to Arbiter Ian. That first video was really good, and I suspect this one will be good as well.
And before we start, did you know that there is now merch? You can pick up some questionable Imperial vestments in the store. There's a link in the description below, or more info at the end of this video.
One day I'll have merch for you guys. Someday. I mean, I don't have merch. We don't even have a name for the chat. In all my streams, the chat doesn't even have a name. We don't even know what to call you guys. So I don't know. I'm so hesitant because one, I only have a couple of ideas. I have some ideas for merch. Like I've mentioned in the past, but I don't even know what to call you guys outside of my torturers. I don't know.
Era Indomitus is
well. I mean, if there's no, I can't make up a chat name. You guys have to make it up. I can't call you something. Chat has to decide what they're called. I can't call you guys things. I can't call it. I can't make up the lore. The lore needs to come from you guys. So, all right, here we go.
The name given to the current timeline of Warhammer 40k, an era defined by its biggest endeavor, the Indomitus Crusade. After millennia of slow decline, constant warfare, and corruption from within, both the demony sort and the regular boring sort, by the late 41st millennium.
Regular boring sort. Fat old bureaucrats. The regular boring sort.
The Imperium had reached the time of ending. Enemies closed in from every angle until finally, with the destruction of the world of Cadia, the Imperium looked likely to collapse. But the return of one of the Primarchs.
Yeah, I understand. Like, remember Cadia? I've heard that said a lot, especially when we're playing Darktide. I don't know. Again, remember, I know a little more about. I know more about fantasy, and I've forgotten what I knew honestly about fantasy than I do about 40k. So.
From the times of legend saw the military might of mankind marshal like never before. In the wake of a galactic disaster, the Indomitus Crusade is the Imperium's last throw of the dice, a galaxy-spanning endeavor to reconnect lost worlds and drive back at least some of the darkness. Actually, that might sound a bit too hopeful. Bear in mind this still involves billions dying and whole planets abandoned and stuff. It is still 40k.
Yeah, you have to understand. 40k, it's a dying universe. Chaos is winning. Orcs and Tyranids they rampage unchecked. So mankind's last push, last attempt, that means something. That means something because the bad is winning. Bad is winning. There is no hope. Because now I believe in the books, if I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard that the emperor is no longer on the throne, and that means something. If the emperor, who is basically, as you saw in that picture, that he's wasted away because all his psychic power is used to keeping the warp at bay, the chaos warp at bay. So things are happening. And I mean, we want humanity to win because it's humanity. But it is a dying universe. It is.
This plot, the story of the Indomitus Crusade, is also really important out of world. This is one of the biggest plot shakeups Warhammer 40k has ever gone through in its 37-year history, and it forms the backdrop to almost every story and narrative thread seen in 40k over the last 8 years. Before the fall of Cadia that happened in 2018 at the end of the 7th edition of the game, 40k had always been set at the very, very end of the 41st millennium, with the Imperium teetering on the brink, and campaigns, stories, and novels took place at any point in the 1,000 or so years leading up to that. Nowadays, almost everything is tied together into an evolving narrative, and the Indomitus Crusade is either the setting for those stories or like a major event happening in the background of them. But like everything 40k, this can be a bit confusing. Threads and strands and elements of this story are spread across novels, video games, articles in magazines and campaign books, and they are rarely published in chronological order.
Yeah.
But it is possible, with a little bit of digging, to construct the grand history of the Crusade so far. So if you're new to 40k, wondering what the era Indomitus is all about, or returning and just want a quick catch-up, let's delve into the history books and tell the story of the Crusade so far. The Indomitus Crusade was a response to one of the greatest tragedies the Imperium of Man has ever faced, and a brief, if very thin, sliver of hope that allowed the Imperium to just about hold out in the face of a renewed invasion by the forces of chaos. In the dying days of the 41st millennium, Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos, led an invasion of the Imperium that it dubbed the 13th Black Crusade. In reality, this was no isolated war, but the culmination of 10,000 years of planning on the part of Abaddon, a meticulously planned series of attacks that had been designed to weaken the Imperium by breaking apart the confines of the Eye of Terror. The Eye was an area of real space and warp space overlap, a strange and dangerous region where the veil between worlds was thin and chaos polluted the real world. It had been formed in the destruction of the ancient Eldari Empire, their home worlds corrupted during the birth of the chaos power Slaanesh, that had seen the energies of the warp breach the veil and spread through real space. The boundaries of the Eye of Terror were held in check by an ancient system of giant blackstone pylons and monuments. Blackstone was a material that could be polarized to actively resist warp corruption, and those had been dotted across various planets that ringed the Eye millions of years before. This ring left only one safe route in and out of the Eye, the Cadian Gate, that by the 41st millennium was guarded by the imperial fortress world of Cadia, which was also a site of massive blackstone monuments. But over the millennia, the role of Blackstone in restricting the spread of the Eye had been largely forgotten. In fact, it's questionable if humanity really ever understood what these things were in the first place. But Abaddon the Despoiler certainly knew. He'd been fighting a long war against the Imperium ever since the days of the Horus Heresy, 10,000 years before, when the Primarch Horus rebelled against the Emperor and almost destroyed his fledgling Imperium of Man. The rebellion failed, though the Emperor was...
See, that's the Emperor on his golden throne, more machine now than man, for lack of a better term.
Was mortally wounded, and the remaining loyalists hounded the traitors, including Abaddon, into the Eye of Terror, imprisoning the remaining traitor forces inside and then heavily fortifying Cadia to try and stop them getting out again. In response, and as part of an incredibly long-running plan, Abaddon and his Black Legion had spent thousands of years slowly destroying the nodes that surrounded the Eye under the guise of various raids or Black Crusades. As retold in the Gathering Storm campaign books, by the time the 13th Black Crusade emerged from the Eye, the only node remaining was the world of Cadia, and in the colossal battle that followed, the planet was eventually destroyed, broken into fragments by the impact of a massive Blackstone Fortress space station. With the collapse of the restraining network, the Eye spread across the galaxy, linking up warp storms and areas where the veil was already thin, and forming the Cicatrix Maledictum, the great rift that split the galaxy in two.
Okay, all right. See, I I now I know what the fall of Cadia is. Now I understand why I remember Cadia and why it's such a big deal. So yeah, wow. I mean, that's the fascinating thing about the 40K universe is that the chaos warp, the void spilling out into reality destroys your ability to travel anywhere. Now, it's kind of interesting because can you just go up and around? I don't know. I'm trying to think three-dimensionally about this. Anyway.
A great psychic silence spread along with the rift, dubbed the Noctis Eterna, that made travel difficult and stopped interstellar communication across the Imperium, while at the same time, the rift itself did untold damage. Systems in the path of the rift were swallowed whole, twisted into chaotic hellscapes. The legions of chaos vomited forth from the warp, attacking and invading nearby worlds, and the besieged planets found their cries for help swallowed up in the great silence. And the whole northern half of the galaxy was lost behind the rift, Imperial systems forced to fend for themselves in what became known as Imperium Nihilus. Even Terra found itself under demonic assault as the forces of Khorne materialized outside the Imperial Palace.
Blood for the blood god, another skull for the throne.
Back only by the Custodes and the Grey Knights. But there was a shred of hope. At around the same time, aided by the premonitions of the Eldar Ivrain and the technology of the Adeptus Mechanicus Magos Belisarius Call, the Primarch of the Ultramarines, Robute Guilliman, was resurrected. Guilliman was one
Ultramarines, yeah!
of the 9 loyal sons of the Emperor, those that fought in his name during the heresy, and the former Lord Commander of the Imperium, the guy who held it together in the aftermath of that war. But decades after the heresy, he'd been fatally wounded by his traitor brother Fulgrim and had been held in stasis ever since, on Macragge, the chapter planet of the Ultramarines, minutes from death. As the Great Rift spread, a delegation of Inari and humans managed to gain access to the Fortress of Hera on Macragge, and in the midst of a great battle, returned him to life, stabilizing his wounds. The Primarch quickly took command of the situation, stabilizing his homeworld before embarking on an odyssey across the galaxy, utilizing the Eldar webway to finally make it to Terra, where he fought and defeated the demon Primarch Magnus the Red on Luna, the moon.
That's great. That's great. So I dig that. I dig that one of the loyal Primarchs. I remember when we were looking at the Horus Heresy last week. It was like, man, we want the Ultramarines to get there. They never got there in time, but now it's the time for the Ultramarines to shine. And it's cool that you bring back a hero like that to lead the way. I find that very cool. That's good to me. That's good writing. It's good storytelling.
With the Imperium currently collapsing under constant assault by the forces of chaos, with half the galaxy silent and communications disrupted, and with the armed forces of humanity bleeding themselves dry, the Primarch entered the Imperial Palace and communed with the Emperor himself. And when he emerged, he took on the dual roles of Lord Commander of the armed forces of the Imperium and Imperial Regent, and set about trying to restore order. The method he would use to do this would be to launch a crusade, the biggest seen in millennia. The Indomitus Crusade. Most of this is covered in the Gathering Storm series of books, which were released with 8th edition 40k, and they detail the fall of Cadia, the formation of the Inari amongst the Eldar, and the rise of the Primarch. I cover the entire story in much more detail here in this video, and since that point, the Indomitus Crusade has been the main narrative arc in 40k, with updates to its progress given in new editions of the game, and in campaign supplements, and in lots of Black Library novels. When Guilliman returned from his...
And for those who don't know, the Black Library is the narrative end of it's considered like the Star Wars Expanded Universe. It's where the stories are told.
Audience with the Emperor, many of his plans had already been set in motion. It was clear that he had returned at a time of great catastrophe, but also that humanity was still in possession of vast military might. It was just fractured, first by 10 millennia of politics and infighting, and then by the logistical nightmare caused by the Noctis Eterna. He was convinced that the forces out there were enough to secure the Imperium, they just needed bringing together. He stood before the High Lords of Terror and proposed a great crusade, a great mustering of warships and military might from every one of the Imperium's armed forces, planned and executed according to his grand strategy. Guilliman's strength had always been in planning and organization, and only a mind such as his could keep an endeavor of such scale focused. He met personally with many of the Imperium's highest officers, the Captain General of the Legio Custodes, the Fabricator General of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and the Abbess Sanctorum of the Adeptus Sororitas, and secured their cooperation, though many initially had private misgivings. After all, wasn't the reason their armed forces were so fractured the work of Guilliman himself, imposed as a safety measure against another Primarch doing what Horus did, turning the armies of the Imperium against it? While many agreed publicly, there was still a huge amount of work to do behind the scenes to ensure the mustering of this grand crusade didn't falter. High Lords who were opposed to Guilliman's plans were removed from office, or just removed entirely.
That's right. That's right. Get out of the way. Either help or get out of the way.
Replaced with those more forward-thinking and agreeable. The majority of the muster would take place in the Sol system, and so great pains were taken to ensure its security. Troublesome nobles, heretical cults, and general recidivists were all crushed during a series of brutal pogroms known as the Primarch Scourge. Worlds that were struggling or couldn't hope to stand on their own were abandoned, their populations left to their fate as their military forces were pulled back to Terra, considered more useful as part of the new crusade than just dying in some hopeless last stand. Faster than even the Primarch expected, forces poured back into the Sol sector, hanging in orbit over a spread of worlds, organized armies resplendent in their colors alongside the ragtag survivors of the Great Rift carried aboard gleaming ships, ancient hulks, and battle-scarred cruisers. And all these forces were augmented by a new asset, one that was 10,000 years in the making: Primaris Space Marines. Before his internment in state...
Okay, so new Space Marines. Okay. Go buy your plastic crack, guys. That's Games Workshop saying, hey, guys, time to buy more plastic crack.
Guilliman had ordered Belisarius Cawl to begin work on an update to the Space Marines. Using the Emperor's original work and the Sang Primus Portem, rescued from the fires of heresy, Cawl had, over 10,000 years, slowly perfected a new sort of Space Marine. With 3 added organs, the new Primaris Space Marines were larger, faster, and more stable than those of the firstborn lines, and Cawl had also developed a whole range of new equipment and technology for them, from upgraded Mark X power armor and bolt weaponry to new vehicles. The legality of this was a bit suspect when
Ligano, who's the matter? We're talking about the survival of humanity.
it was revealed many in the Adeptus Mechanicus were tempted to declare this tech heresy, but with the backing of the Primarch, Belisarius Cawl quickly became one of the most powerful Archmagi on Mars. And after millennia of labor, he had hundreds of thousands of new Primaris Space Marines ready to go. Stored in stasis beneath his forge complex were the new armies Guilliman needed, drawn from populations taken from all over the galaxy over the previous 10,000 years, and enhanced with updated gene seed drawn from the 9 loyalist legions, and definitely none of the traitor legions. Terrible rumor didn't happen. As the new fleets mustered, these new Astartes were put to good use. Half were immediately formed into new chapters of 1,000 Marines in the largest Space Marine founding since the end of the heresy, the Ultima founding. But the other half were divided amongst the fleets, nominally organized into 9 legion-sized armies, one for each bloodline, but in reality divided down by company or squad. These Marines would be known as the Unnumbered Sons, and informally as Grey Shields because of the pale grey chevrons that adorned their armor. These Grey Shields were split between the Indomitus fleets, intended not only to provide a powerful Astartes army for each of them, but also a core of Space Marines to reinforce any chapters they encountered along the way. The Indomitus Crusade was formed of a number of vast Crusade fleets, currently 10, numbered in High Gothic, Fleet Primus, Secundus, Tertius, Quartus, etc. Each of these was a self-sufficient crusading army, departing on a different trajectory and assigned its own grand missions, objectives, and routes to carve across the galaxy.
I like that. That's an excellent strategy. I find that an excellent strategy. It's like, okay, everybody's independent. This is your mission. Don't worry about the other guys. Worry about your mission. Don't worry about reinforcing. Stay focused. And because if you complete your mission and you don't worry about it, then you will have secured humanity, and then you can go lend aid once you've secured your war, once you've won your war. I like that. I mean, that's a good strategy. I like that.
These fleets were placed under the overall command of fleet masters, incredibly powerful individuals answerable only to the Primarch, who directed the actions of hundreds of warships and often billions of soldiers. But generally, a full Indomitus fleet was far too vast and clumsy an object to wield in a single battle. Each of these fleets was therefore broken down into battle groups, named with either alphanumeric High Gothic designators, Battle Group Alpha, Spitalis, etc., or just proper names, Battle Group Hephaestus, for example. And each of those was led by a group master. Like the fleets, battle groups were permanent formations, self-sufficient and quite capable of prosecuting a system-wide campaign all on their own, with a balance of supporting elements, all reporting back to the fleet's fleet master. In this way, a fleet could be tasked to confront an entire campaign across whole segments of the galaxy, deploying its battle groups to various war fronts as required. As an example of the size of this, let's look at Battle Group Hephaestus of Fleet Tertius. At the time of the Battle of Makorta Sound, the flag of the Hephaestus was on the Intolerant, a Retribution class battleship, and its naval complement included another 4 full-size battleships, 12 cruisers of the line, and 9 squadrons of frigates, and those were supported by 2 Astartes strike cruisers, the Adeptus Mechanicus war barge Veracitus, an unnamed inquisitorial warship, and a number of planetary assault ships, 26 troop macro landers, 3 Mechanicus dropkeeps, and 3 Adeptus Sororitas invasion cathedra.
This is the equivalent of Star Trek ship porn right here. If you are a fan of this stuff and you enjoy these things, you hear this stuff, you're getting excited. Your heart is beginning to pump the blood. You can feel the adrenaline waiting to just be that button push because you want to pick up your chainsword, you want to grab your bolt gun, you want to be a part of this, you want to push forward for humanity. This is equivalent of ship porn in Star Trek. That's what this is right now.
A pretty powerful fleet for any Imperial action. The ground forces attached are no less impressive, as well as the hundreds of thousands of naval crew involved. The ground forces assigned to the battle group comprised 9 regiments of Vusilian Praetors Astra Militarum under the command of General Maestrin Knox, who also held the position of Group Master, supported by 14 regiments of Gattacar Rampagers, 10 maniples of Skitarii from the Forge World of Metallica, a full preceptory and 4 additional commanderies of Battle Sisters drawn from the Order of the Ebon Chalice, 3 lances of House Hawkshroud Knights, and the group has Adeptus Astartes support in the form of 2 strike forces from the Black Dragons and Exorcist chapter, as well as a full complement of Grey Shield Primaris Marines from the Vaults of Mars. The various commanders of those ground forces, as well as the senior captains of the naval vessels, the Lady Inquisitor Brennica Limsis, and the ranking commissar of the Departamento Munitorum, formed the battle group's senior command staff. And of course, that doesn't list supporting forces and factions just too small to be considered in the roles of battle, Officio Logisticarum assets, Departamento Munitorum Labor Corps, whatever Mechanicus elements are attached to all the ships and the fighting forces as a matter of course, the thousands of naval armsmen and breachers assigned to those ships, and of course, whatever diverse forces might be in that inquisitorial delegation.
This is, I have some comprehension of this. I can't fully comprehend because I am not as versed in Warhammer 40K as others are, but this is incredible. I mean, I some people might find this boring. I find that I am wrapped here. I love hearing this. I love hearing the details of combat units like this, especially something that is so lore deep like 40K. So much to listen to. So much to absorb.
Below that battle group stage, both fleet masters and group masters are able to assign elements of their complement to task forces, ad hoc formations of any size required that can be assembled for the completion of a specific mission. Task forces are often named for their commander, flagship, or objective. The intention here was that on the completion of the mission, that task force could be folded back into the battle group and reassigned, but of course with the colossal scale of the Indomitus Crusade, that still meant that task forces might be together for years at a time, prosecuting entire wars and developing their own tactics, insignia, bonds of brotherhood, and culture. At the time of the Drenox cleansing, the imaginatively named Battle Group Hephaestus Task Force 2 comprised the Exorcist strike cruiser Wrath of Threnna and its second company strike force of exorcists, led by their librarian Bale Fordane, supported by cruisers and frigates drawn from the naval complement of the battle group, and regimental forces from the Gattacar Rampagers, and commanded by the Inquisitor Limsis aboard her inquisitorial warship, along with whatever weird specialist assets were stationed there. As well as this official military structuring, the Crusade fleets were also able to create even smaller task forces for one specific role, that of reinforcing the beleaguered Space Marine chapters that were still fighting across the galaxy. Each fleet had been assigned a complement of the new Primaris Marines at its outset, drawn from the stasis vaults of Mars and organized into Grey Shield companies. But as the Crusade fleets pushed onwards, they reinforced existing chapters with the same new technology. The specialized task forces that attempted this dangerous task, running ahead of the Crusade fleets and braving the warp storms to deliver the new technology, were known as Torchbearer fleets. Each was a compact elite force stationed aboard some of the hardiest and fastest ships available, led by complements of the Adeptus Custodes, often drawn from the Emissaries Imperiatus shield host. They also contain members of the Silent Sisterhood to quell the warp storms, Magos biologists in custody of the new gene seed that was drawn from the same lineage as the chapter they were looking for, stocks of Primaris weapons and war gear, and usually a complement of Grey Shield battle brothers, again drawn from the same gene line as the target chapter, to serve as immediate reinforcement. Their task was to hand all this over to their assigned chapter and then return to their parent fleet for their next assignment. And
So basically, here's the care package. Here's the care package to restore everything you need. We'll stick around, help you set up, but then keep fighting, brothers. We'll see. We'll come back and check on you later.
And often that's exactly what happened. When a chapter was contacted, still operational and holding out in their fortress monastery, or clinging on, attempting to defend Imperial worlds, the new Grey Shield brothers were reassigned, becoming part of that chapter, the additional gene seed and technology granting the chapter a new lead.
Oh, okay. So that's how it worked. Okay, that totally makes sense. Like, okay, we're part of the family. We're the new and improved. We're here to carry the load while we get the next group going. Let's for the Emperor.
Piece of life. This, however, did not always resolve so smoothly.
Really?
Some chapters were distrusting of the returned Primarch or offended by what they saw as meddling, and in some cases the presence of the Adeptus Custodes was essential. They served not only as the emissaries of the Primarch, but also of the Emperor himself. Some of the Primaris reinforcements mysteriously disappeared soon after the Torchbearers left.
There you go. Politics. Fall in line. We're talking about saving the galaxy here.
Their chapter fighting on to their doom. Some Torchbearer fleets arrived to find their targets lost, the chapter destroyed in battle, and only serfs and relics left in the fortress. And in these cases, the assigned Grey Shields would have to essentially refound the chapter from whatever they could find. And in some extreme cases, the chapter they found were hopelessly corrupted, and in these cases, the Custodes commanding the fleets were expected
Then you gotta exterminate.
to order their extermination. Something that often caused conflict with the Grey Shields that accompanied them, who'd been expecting to finally reunite with their lost brothers. This scale of endeavor required an even larger support structure. Gilliman was well aware that the hidebound and jealous institutions of the Imperium were not fit for purpose, and so he created new structures to support his crusade, ones that bypassed the established orders entirely. The most visible element of this was the creation of the Officio Logisticarum. At the outset of the Crusade, the existing structures of the Imperium were already at breaking point, dealing with the wave of panic and losses that followed the emergence of the Rift. To bypass this and ensure that the muster continued unabated, Guilliman created his own structures. Pulled from the best and brightest of the Administratum and the Departamento Munitorum, the new million-strong Officio Logisticarum was dedicated to serving the needs of the Crusade and ensuring that the fleets and ships were properly mustered and supplied. Originally, it was personally led by Guilliman until he felt it was powerful and respected enough to stand on its own.
That's good. That's good. You know, oversee your new thing with your legitimacy, and then once it can function on its own, then you step away, go to your next thing. That's great management. Good management.
When the Crusade fleets finally departed, Guilliman issued the Boracay Decree, which granted the Officio and also the fleet masters the right to requisition whatever imperial forces were needed to ensure the pace of the Crusade didn't falter. As worlds were reconquered, reinforced, or pulled back from the clutches of chaos, their military forces would find themselves inducted into the Crusade fleets, carried along to liberate the next world. The decree also allowed for the construction of hub fortresses. Created in the wake of the fleets, the Officio's hub fortresses would serve as anchors for the supply lines that they required.
That's an excellent point you got to remember. Supplies, supplies, supplies. An army can only go as far as its supplies allow them. If you don't have food, you don't have other things, you can't keep going. And we're talking billions upon billions of troops out there. So you got to have the supply lines. That's an excellent point to remember that they've included. I respect that.
Slowly re-establishing reliable lines of communication across the galaxy. The first of these were created at the various muster points, but soon Officio adepts were requisitioning fortress moons, Mechanicus Laboratoria, and astropathic stations and reinforcing them, constructing additional void docks or munitions yards, and turning these various assets from ground-based outposts to vast space stations into more hub fortresses to feed the fleets. The final role of the Officio, enabled by all that stuff, was to record the events of the Crusade. Guilliman was adamant that the knowledge that was gained by the Crusade should not be lost like so much else had been lost in the past. With the fleets in action and data being sent back to Terra through the hub fortress system, the Officio was tasked with the recording and analysis of the Crusade, the actions of the war fleets and their current disposition recorded in the vast data stacks of the Officio. And in a similar way, one of the most important of Guilliman's new branches became the Logos Historica Verita. In the first few years after returning to the Imperium, Guilliman became extremely concerned at the amount of knowledge that had been lost over the years, events sequestered or destroyed by overly Puritan inquisitors, or declared heresy by preachers of the Ministorum. What was once based on objective reason was now based on superstition, tradition, and hearsay. Piecing together just what had actually happened since he was locked in stasis seemed an impossible task. To this end, he took great pains to assemble a small office of individuals of a nature that was more inquisitive and liberal-minded than the fanaticism and stifling conservatism common to the people of the 41st millennium. These individuals, tutored initially by the Primarch himself, were given the rank of Historitor Investigatus and tasked with one mission: to compile a full and accurate accounting of the history of humanity, particularly the last 10,000 years Guilliman had missed. The Logos grew from a few operatives into the thousands, but their work was always dangerous. Under their orders, data vaults would be reopened, seals broken, and lost information recaptured from ancient archives, often those cited in war zones on the fringes of the Crusade. All of this was recorded, catalogued, and transmitted back to the Primarch as the fleets pushed onwards. In the early years of the Indomitus Crusade, the different fleets pushed out from their musters along their pre-assigned routes in an attempt to quell the chaos enveloping the galaxy, but almost immediately plans had to be revised in the wake of chaos assaults from the Rift. Guilliman's original plan involved...
I mean, that's the thing. Just because the Crusade is starting doesn't mean chaos ain't going to stop and sit there and do nothing. Of course, chaos is going to push back right away. They're on the verge of victory. They're not going to let it slip through.
Fleet Secundus pushing forward directly towards the Eye of Terror, while Fleet Tertius and Quintus protected the Segmentum Solar. Tertius would capture Olmec, while Quintus would move into the southern Segmentum towards Lessera, while Fleet Primus would move to capture the strategically important cardinal world of Gathalamor. However, as the departure date approached, a massive Cornate crusade of slaughter was detected, heading towards the naval base of Hydrafor, and then on course for the Segmentum Solar itself. Because of this, Fleet Tertius was actually the first to depart. Its fleet master, the formidable Imperial Navy Admiral Cassandra Van Lescus, was extremely proactive, forcing her fleet into readiness well ahead of schedule, and she petitioned Guilliman personally to be granted the opportunity to repel the Khorne threat.
Yeah.
With the fleet ready to depart, Guilliman granted assent, and Fleet Tertius cast off its moorings, heading towards Hydrafor and confronting the Crusade of Slaughter head-on at the
So I guess this is the first major conflict of the Indominus Crusade.
Battle of Makorta Sound. The Crusade of Slaughter had been tasked with attempting an easy breakthrough to the Sol system and spreading rogue Blackstone devices in its wake to try and expand the rift, but aided by the Inquisitor Rostov, 5 battle groups of Fleet Tertius, under the direct command of Van Lescus, were able to ambush the Chaos forces as they moved through Makorta Sound. At this point, they were a heretic invasion that spanned several star systems. The Imperial fleet emerged almost on top of it, and an assault force of Primaris Marines killed the Demon Prince in command, while the 5th battle group St. Asta under Commodore Eloise Agathe, attacked and destroyed the Blackstone device, the assault force of White Consul Space Marines planting a null device that rolled back the spread of the rift in that sector. The Crusade of Slaughter was broken, leading to an early win for the Indomitus Crusade as a whole, something that silenced many of Guilliman's initial detractors, and Fleet Tertius continued on its original path, first entering Segmentum Pacificus to the west after taking Olmec, and then looping round into the Segmentum Tempestus. The second fleet to depart was Indomitus Fleet Secundus, which continued with its intended orders, burning a path directly towards what used to be the Eye of Terror and punching into the Segmentum Obscurus. The fleet was spearheaded by the Sisters of the Adepta Sororitas. In fact, one of its key commanders was the Abbess Sanctorum Morven Val, and it was reinforced by numerous Black Templar crusades, and they saw early action against horrific demonic invasions as they attempted to use the warp routes leaving Vorlis to reach the Cadian Gate in expectation of a great second Chaos push. Fleet Secundus kept a deliberately tight pattern of dispersal throughout the journey, with individual battle groups dispatched to secure important worlds like Armageddon, but the journey was difficult, causing numerous losses and becoming known as the Road of Martyrs, a sign of the fanaticism the whole fleet developed over the following years. Eventually, in close communication with Fleet Primus and with the discovery of the Nactmund Gauntlet, a relatively stable passage through the rift, Fleet Secundus found itself greatly reinforced to provide a bulwark against Chaos invasions. The bulk of its battle groups were formed into the Enaxian Line in the Cadian sector, a curve of star systems and blockades that has replaced Cadia itself as the main defensive force opposing the Eye of Terror, and also forming the main part of the Sanctus Wall. This was a huge network of defenses, often formed from existing hub fortresses that were centered on the world of Sangua Terra on the southern edge of the Nactmund Gauntlet. It came under almost immediate attack from Black Legion forces under Harkon Worldclaimer at the start of the Rift War, and while these initial attacks were thwarted by a daring encirclement by Secundus's battle group Lambdax, the war continues to rage on, with Fleet Secundus forming much of the defensive line. As the first 2 fleets initially set off, the Primarch himself waited, making sure that not only the Administratum and the High Lords were finally acting in support of his plans, but also that the Officio Logisticarum was fully briefed and capable of acting independently. Finally, once those initial 2 fleets had departed, and with plans for the Indomitus Crusade safely in motion, Fleet Primus moved into action. Primus would be commanded by the Primarch directly, who would leave Terra in the care of the Council of High Lords once again. This wasn't without some fallout shortly Shortly after Primus departed, there was a brief attempt at a coup on Terra as some previously deposed High Lords sought to reclaim power from this usurper, but it was quickly put down by forces loyal to the Primarch. From this point on, Guilliman's decrees would be relayed back to the center of imperial authority by his Council ex Terra, representatives of all the High Lords that travelled alongside Fleet Primus. Primus was the largest of the fleets, split into many separate battle groups, and it carried by far the largest complement of Primaris Space Marines and Adeptus Custodes. The fleet initially set out in a general easterly direction, but immediately formed into several spearheads that spread out north and south from its main path, taking the fight to the larger part of the galaxy. Wherever the battle groups of Primus found heretic forces, they pushed them back, in many cases overwhelming raiders and chaos cults with sheer firepower and numbers. The Grey Shields of Fleet Primus were being continually reinforced as the fleet was accompanied by the Tsar Quaesitor, the
when in doubt, use brute force. Brute force solves everything.
Arch Mechanicus of Belisarius Cawl, whose servitors and adepts ran the forges continuously to produce arms and armor for the thousands of warriors continually released from the stasis crypts on board. Fleet Primus's earliest victory was the reinforcement and liberation of the cardinal world of Gathalamor in the southwestern segmentum solar, fast-moving Custodes strike teams reinforcing the Adeptus Sororitas and Mordians that were defending the surface. With the conquest of Gathalamor complete, the fleet then split.
I'm my mind now goes to the thoughts of what is it like to be on one of these besieged worlds for countless hundreds of years, even millennia, and suddenly here just comes a massive fleet of super space marines, essentially these and they land. It's like, we are here to relieve you. We are here to set things right. The feeling in the atmosphere is like, oh shit, the Imperium lives. Yes, we're reinforced. Let's kill some chaos. Purge heretics.
Battle Group Erastus ventured north into the Ypsilon subsector, preventing Chaos Cultists from summoning demons so close to Holy Terror, while Battle Group Noctus was sent across to Armageddon. Battle Groups Praxis and Retributus moved even further north to the far northern edge of the Segmentum Solar to reinforce the Ironhold Protectorate and the Iron Veil region, torchbearers from the fleet bringing the technology to create Primaris Marines to the Space Wolves chapter on Fenris. This was one of the more tense deliveries. It took a while before the new Marines were accepted by the chapter, whose chapter master, Logan Grimnar, was convinced that the Great Rift was the herald of the Wolf Time, the end of days. The two battle groups averted a brief rebellion in the Ironhold Protectorate, fighting against Reg Corsairs from the Maelstrom and Night Lord's forces that were active in the Iron Veil. But the main thrust of Fleet Primus moved into the massive Ultima Segmentum, where they quickly liberated the cardinal world of Ophelia 7 and the desert planet of Talan. Elements of the fleet, led by the Primarch's own battle group Alphas, even managed to reach so far as Baal, crossing the Great Rift to do so, where they reinforced the planet against a colossal demonic invasion, and Guilliman invested Dante, the commander of the Blood Angels, as Lord Commander of Imperium Nihilus, the area that was beyond the rift. A large part of Fleet Primus eventually halted for resupply at Catachan, where the local Astra Militarum had already seen off any chaos threats from the rift, and the fleet left Catachan space better supplied with troops than it had arrived. From there, various battle groups peeled away as the fleet moved further into the Segmentum. Battle Group Erasmus headed for the Octarius sector, intervening in the Octarius War, where the Orcs continued to fight against the tendril of Hive Fleet Leviathan, while Battle Group Tarsus, also led by Morven Val, who...
That's a point to realize. When they're going out there, it's not just chaos. Tyranids and Orcs are out there too. There's other shit they gotta fight besides chaos. So there's other crap out there too. That's a point that I think hasn't been touched on enough here.
Must have been getting around the galaxy a bit, headed for the Charodon sector, where they intervened in the long-running Charodon War against a vast assault by the Death Guard. Battle Group Calades were dispatched on a mission of some urgency to investigate a mysteriously quiet zone of the galaxy, which was later named the Pariah Nexus, an area that the Necrons had used for vast experiments in quieting the warp. When they eventually managed to report their discoveries back to Guilliman, the Primarch dispatched Battle Group Hephaestus to reinforce them, this time accompanied by Belisarius Cawl and the Tsar Quaesitor. As the years went on, confusingly with no dates because of how strange time was or something, Fleet Primus continued to push east. Eventually, battle groups Cerastus, Dominus, and Gamma entered the Raukos sector, assaulting and taking the region around the anomaly known as the Pit of Raukos in an attempt to counter a potential demonic invasion. And around 12 years after the launch of the Crusade, the fleet finally reached the farthest edge of the Ultima Segmentum. Here, Guilliman was pinned down, fighting in the Plague Wars, an attempt by the Chaos Primarch Mortarion and the followers of Nurgle to lure Guilliman into a trap by assaulting his home realm of Ultramar. The Plague Wars are kind of part of the Indomitus Crusade and kind of not. While a lot of the Indomitus Crusade story is told in the Dawn of Fire series and the various campaign supplements, the Plague War is told in the Dark Imperium series, which was actually released much earlier. When it was first released, that trilogy was set 100 years after Guilliman's return at the end of the Indomitus Crusade, but in the second edition of those books, that was updated. The Plague Wars now have
That's rough. When you're doing stuff like this, suddenly you have to retcon, you have to make sure things line up. It gets rough.
Happened 12 years into the Indomitus Crusade at the end of its first phase, which is defined by the Battle of Raukos and coincides with the breakup of the Unnumbered Sons, the Grey Shields, and their assignment either to existing chapters or to new Primaris-only chapters. Over the course of the Plague Wars, Mortarion and his Death Guard invaded Ultramar, spreading plague across Iax and Parmenio,
Freaking Nurgle,
amongst other worlds, all in an attempt to corrupt and turn Guilliman to chaos, but that didn't work, and alongside some infighting in the Nurgle ranks, Mortarion was defeated, and Guilliman reclaimed his ancient realm. But the story of Fleet Primus doesn't completely end there. With the Plague Wars complete, and two of Fleet Primus's battle groups still attempting to solve the Pariah Nexus, as well as one of his most loyal allies, it looks like Guilliman and the rest of Fleet Primus are now being drawn into the conflict themselves. Anyway, there were more fleets than just Primus, Secundus, and Tertius. There are 6 others out there, though they haven't been quite so lucky. Fleet Quartus was a large and diverse battle group led by Fleetmaster Trincus Abcondis, a prominent naval admiral. Their initial orders had them following in the wake of the previous fleets, spreading east and west from Terra into the Sol sector and garrisoning, securing, and mopping up resistance in sectors that the previous fleets had already moved through. Using hub fortresses already established, Quartus could then spread into the neighbouring sectors and consolidate their victories. However, with such a wide remit, and after suffering delays during battles in the Bargeist system, Stygian Belt, and by a rebellion on Jormungast, the fleet's actions quickly fell behind schedule. During a crisis of confidence and looking for ways to speed up his conquests, Abcondis joined forces with the Inquisitor Glory Imagna, who had discovered an ancient device known as the Choral Engine on the Imperium Nihilus world of Malakbile. The Choral Engine was a warp beacon, something that could act as a second Astronomicon and help bring the faltering fleet back on track, but unfortunately during the Arcs of Omen campaign, the Choral Engine also attracted the attention of Angron, demon primarch of the World Eaters, who fell upon Fleet Quartus during the Battle of Malak. Eventually, the Choral Engine was destroyed as a sacrifice to Khorne, and the resulting wave of warp energy saw the murder curse sweep across the survivors. Much of Fleet Quartus lost their minds to Khorne, turning on their allies in a bloodbath that swept the whole sector. In the aftermath, the entire of Fleet Quartus was declared excommunicate traitorous. Fleet Quintus's luck was a bit better than that, still not great. Quintus was led by Fleetmaster Presorius and mustered in the Sol sector along with the others, but it was quickly struck by delays and misfortunes, including a warp drive malfunction on the ship Embrace of Fire that took out over a score of vessels anchored over Neptune. It eventually got underway with an initial destination of Lessera, but by that time Fleet Tertius had already completed its early objectives and retaken Lessera itself. Since then, the fleet's battle groups have suffered misfortune after misfortune, campaigns that turned into grueling meat grinders, or weird and supernatural
Necromunda.
occurrences which
All right,
plagued its ships.
Necromunda. That was the most 40K I ever played. The Necromunda. Necromunda was essentially 40K, but let's just say gang warfare. So Necromunda is basically a sewer planet. It's a city planet with different layers. Kind of like, let's say, what if Coruscant became a living hell? That's Necromunda. And it's basically gang warfare between various things with the top, at the very top, a remaining few semi-space marine like clan at the top to kind of govern it all. Necromunda was fun as hell because what you did when you played Necromunda, it came with some materials in the original box to build a city. But if you were real gamers like we were, you went out and got pieces of styrofoam and other junk everywhere, and you made bigger cities. We would dominate pool tables in our I guess the open community rooms of all our dorms. We would own the pool table. Nobody played pool. We played games on there. And we would build cities. And it was fantastic. We could even make up our own city rules of that. We had one called Sally Forth and Take the Tower, where we would build the spire in the center of all this stuff, and we'd put money at the top of it, and all the games raced there. Now, Necromunda is fun, because here, the thing about Necromunda is it's a cheap and easy way and quick way to play 40K without the massive armies. It's like the same basic rules. And there are like 6 or 7 gangs. I played originally Van Sar. Eventually I played what were my bitches called? The female gang, because no one else was playing them, so I played those and I really liked them. That was a lot of fun. If I ever can put a game group back together again, I would totally try and do Necromunda gaming nights, because it's quick and easy. You just set up, you build a city, you get your gangs get experience, all kinds of fun stuff. Necromunda was great. And that's that. I see that just brings back all the great memories of playing Necromunda. I had so much fun with Necromunda. A lot of fun.
All of which have led to the fleet being considered cursed. Although the fleet's battle group Forstes did have some success at Orestes, where they prevented the expansion of the Pariah Nexus at great cost, of course. Fleet Sextus only has a few notable actions. Their battle groups saw action near the Maelstrom, though they were eventually heavily damaged by the forces of Huron Blackheart and the Red Corsairs, and then elements of the fleet were drawn into the Fourth Tyrannic War. Their own battle group Faustus formed a central part of the defences of Sanctum in the Bastior sector, co-opted by the Lord Solar Leontus as part of his network of anchor worlds, built in response to the Tyranid invasion, and other elements of Fleet Sextus found themselves facing similar enemies, battling Hive Fleet Jormungandr elsewhere in the galaxy. Fleet Septimus has even less recorded about it, which seems to be intentional. Founded at the same time as Primus, Secundus, and Tertius, Septimus was originally an outlier because of its muster point, which was far away from the musters of the rest of the fleets. Units seem to be assigned to the fleet according to some wider...
Looks like this is some sort of secret weapon plan going on at Septimus.
Design. Units from across the Imperial militaries receiving orders via Onyx Servo Skull that required them to leave immediately for a secret muster. Any requisition orders from the fleet bore the message Reductio Maximal Nix Exempta, and anyone attempting to find out where their forces were being sent was dealt with. Even the records of the Officio Logisticarum are empty of reference to Fleet Septimus's actions, which earned it the name of the Silent Seventh. And while Fleets Octus, Decius, and whatever Nine's called are not subject to that level of secrecy, we don't really have any history of their actions yet, as that hasn't been written. Fleet Octus, under Fleet Master Aswan Relme, is known to have scored a major victory when its battle group Thetera relieved the Imperial naval base at Bacca, and Fleet Decius is known to have been forced to repopulate its crew with natives from the planet of Fentius after an attack of Xenos mindworms, but apart from that, we've got nothing. Both fleets, and presumably the missing ninth one, are known to have been some of the very last ones to finish their muster and the last to have departed. And That's kind of where we are, where the current timeline of 40k leaves it. The Indomitus Crusade has spread across the galaxy, reclaiming Imperial worlds on the Sanctus side of the Great Rift, and even occasionally reaching ones on the Nihilus side, marshalling the various military forces under the banner of Guilliman in the hope of holding back the tide of chaos and opportunistic Xenos raids. And after a number of setbacks, the Primarch is sort of managing to hold it all together. There are, of course, hundreds more little stories to tell within this. Individual actions taken by one task force or battle group, missions completed by much smaller forces in support of the Crusade, and of course, there are other really big things going on in the galaxy too. The Imperium is currently fighting a whole other war for survival, the Fourth Tyrannic War, a much more defensive conflict spearheaded by the Lord Solar Leontus, and the factions that aren't humans are probably doing stuff too, but the Indomitus Crusade is kind of the main story. Officially, the timeline is a few decades into this new millennium, after the first phase of the Crusade and after the Plague Wars, but what the second phase of the Crusade will look like is anyone's guess. As usual, when we find out such things, I'll stitch it all together here. Until then, thanks for watching.
Well, that was very cool. How old is this one? This one was put up 5 months ago, so this is pretty up to date. It looks like this is pretty up to date on what's going on. So that, I guess, that's the human side, the Terra side of things right now, and that's fascinating. I love it. And yeah, Kel's talking about there's more than just the human side. Orcs, Kel was there. The Eldar, the Tau, the Necrons, the Tyranids. Chaos has their own story too, the Chaos perspective. So it's massive. It's massive. Okay, so that was fun. Thank you, Kel. I look forward to the next Warhammer Wednesday. This is fun. I like this segment a lot. I really do. So what else we got here? Let's start the pain. Looks like we're going to start the pain. And hail howdy, everybody who's been coming in while we've been doing this. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. How close about a 4K? Let's take a look. Good job. Let's take a look. Currently, we're still at 30 away. We haven't moved. Views are happening on other stuff, but we are still only 30 subs away. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep going with that. So yeah, hail howdy, guys. Everybody that came in while we were watching that, I hope you're having a good day. We've got 2 more videos. Now we're going to the brain melt territory. Now we're going to the brain melt territory where I'm going to probably lose my mind. But that's what we're really here for, isn't it? We're not here to have me be happy. We're here to have me fun. And I saw while we were doing that, you guys are bouncing around your chat name ideas. I leave that in your hands. I will not comment until one chat thing, one bit of lore happens and one of your ideas kind of takes hold. So there you go. Also, how do I sound audio-wise? Do I sound okay? I've been messing with my audio on the mic between the mic itself and StreamYards, so I want to make sure everything sounds good. Not too low or not too high. Well, you say you're the bras. You say you're the bras, but I don't know if that's been unified. We need lore. We need you guys combined with an event to create a chat name. So I leave it in your hands. This is not going to happen today. It's going to happen. Here's the thing. I put the thought in your brains now, and now you're all going to actively do something eventually that will create the chat name. It is now out of my hands. It's the same thing. Like I don't have a logo yet. We're 4 years in. I still don't have a logo to go by, a real original logo to represent me in the channel. So eventually we will get a logo, but I feel like that has to come from something. I don't know what. Anyway, all right. So the next one from Kratos, Darlene is Spiritual by Brandon Rogers. He's going to DM me the link. So it's already in the DMs. There it is. Okay. And thank you guys for sending the DM links. Sometimes it does make it a lot easier, so there's no mistakes. Because we've seen what happens when sometimes I will grab the wrong one. All right, so let's do this in here. Why did I do that? That was retarded. Didn't want to do that. Okay, there we go. Okie doke. Here we go. Looks like we got another song. Let's hope he doesn't claim us. Some of these songs have been claiming me off and on. There's no consistency to it. All right, so this is Brandon Rogers Archives. He's only got 970 subscribers. This is a small channel, smaller than me. So I hope he appreciates me giving him some highlight here. And if you like it, go subscribe to him. Let's see what this is like now. Darlene is spiritual, offensive. Okay.
My name is Darlene Kornrubin, and I am an astrological lesbian. This tree has a good energy. That was a
wait.
This is my celestial.
Wait, is this the same guy that we saw? Is this the guy that did the last one we saw? The every movie, every rom-com. Is that this guy? That looks like this guy. That looks like this guy. That looks like this guy.
Star partner Kathleen. Well, we've been married for about 4 years. All right, there's something you need to know about me, Marcel.
It's Gabriel.
This isn't about you. I'm very lesbian, and I'm very pregnant. Somewhere between 3 to 6 months.
My son's the donor. He embodies everything I hate about my ex-husband, particularly his high sperm count.
Yes, he's loaded.
Yeah, I spent years dragging out all the good ones, so this one's bound to be retarded.
What are
I don't think the math works like that, but okay.
you doing to my antique doors?
I'm John Dix, Mom!
Mom is my slave name. You call me Kathleen.
Whatever, I gotta do this vein, bitch.
Nature's a big thing. I gotta have.
This is not real life.
Nature. I love nature more than everyone. Ah, fucking bee! Ah, I guess you could say I have a crush on my baby.
That's what I love about Darlene, her sense of humor.
It's true. I teach a spiritual healing class that uses elements of nature and the universe. All right, everyone, now inhale. This is very relaxing.
That's gross. That's gross. Ew.
For you.
We're not here to fix our marriage. We're here to grow our relationship.
Grow your dick!
All right, everyone, put your hands on my baby. Feed off its energy. Too hard.
My name is Mary Potter. I used to just go into the store and buy regular chips, for instance, and now I've been making my own chips.
Beautiful, beautiful weather here.
So I
Oh man, the dog was humping her arm. Dude. Man, no.
assume you guys are vegans.
We find that word very offensive.
We don't believe in taking the life force of any living object.
If you can enjoy a salad, you might as well go rape someone. Kathleen and I only eat mud.
Darlene, I found dinner. I think we're gonna have leftovers.
It tastes like shit, but that's a price you pay for living as progressively as we do. Oh God, I'm going into labor. Someone put on Comedy Central. Okay, good, it's going back in. We got this when we went to Morocco last year. Don't tell the Moroccans. You might not know this, but Kathleen is a musician.
Each track is one note for 3 minutes. I think I'll call that one fire.
This plate was given to me by my grandmother when she... Oh God, Kathleen, they're in the kitchen!
I like that.
Now, he knows how much I hate the penis shape. Little bastard draws them all over the house.
Man, what are you doing? John Dix, faggot.
Oh my God.
Damn it. Damn it. We're an hour and a half in, maybe.
Kathleen, he's got them in different colors now.
You're such a fucking dictator.
You get those cocks off my door this instant.
It's too hard.
All right, shithead, no more puns.
I got puns all night, you nut job.
Oh, this mud ain't sitting well with me. No, Kathleen, don't you dare. Oh, Darlene. Is this corn? I don't know what it could be. You broke our sacred diet. No, Kathleen, wait, I can explain everything. Describe yourself in one word or less.
Life of the party.
I said one word.
I needed enough dialogue to cover my fart.
Oh my God, Kathleen, don't panic, but you got dicks all over you.
I like to fuck for fun, as often as possible, with as many as possible.
Taking this tantric healing class because I'm a racist.
All right, everyone, tilt your heads back and close your eyes and don't move a muscle no matter what happens.
Darlene, where's the plunger? The toilet's all backed up again.
Where's your cell phone? I'm teaching a class.
Well, what?
How could you eat mud? How can you back up a toilet when you have diarrhea?
Do you think backed it up? This is not important. Is this important? Kathleen, those things better not be out.
I'm gonna rub my tits all over your friends' faces.
No, you better not.
Yeah, the fairy princess liked it a
Nobody
whole lot.
move a muscle. You're doing a great job. What can I say? I'm very blessed. My life is perfect.
It's the doctor.
Oh, God.
It turns out she's not pregnant. It was just a massive accumulation of mud.
God damn it!
wife tells me that the only reason why my skin is so brown is because I'm a piece of shit.
There's more than one lesbian here because I'm married to a fucking pussy!
He's got a dick. I like him.
This reminds me of the movie The Human Centipede. It's licking each other's asses and whatnot. But it's loving.
Oh. Thank you, Kratos. That why the oh I had yeah, God damn it. This guy has a penchant for disgusting bodily functions so far. All right, and now we got Yajinja. I suffered, so you do too. This is this thing he was talking about in the chat earlier, based on some horrible person for Star Wars Battlefront. So we've got one more. I think you said this was 10 minutes. All right, let's put this one in. Okay. All right. So apparently this was viewed on Tuesday night's main event last night. I did not see it because we were doing another stream during that period. So I have not seen this. Apparently Jed has been made to suffer this. So now I have to because I don't know why. This is from Isoka, a much larger channel than I. This was made from 2 weeks ago. So good for you. Is this a good channel or a bad channel, Jed? Is this a good channel or a bad channel? Are we gonna hate this guy? All right, so yeah, so we're coming to this because apparently there was a controversy last night on main event whether or not this is good or bad. So, am I full screened here? No, we're not. Let's full screen it. Okay, no, we were full screen. Okay, there we go. All right, let's do this. I will render my verdict. First, I'm going to critique this guy's PS5 lineup. All right, so he's got Battlefront, Minecraft. He's already losing. Oblivion Remaster, GTA, Battlefield. I don't know what that is right there. I can't tell what that is. And Saints Row. And 2K25. I'm going to call this guy's gaming lineup shit. I think this is a shit lineup right here. I do. Generally a shit lineup. That's just my opinion, though. 1,798 hours in Battlefront 2. Holy crap. That's a lot. I mean, I think I've maybe got, I don't have quite that much when you put together all my hours of Mass Effect. I know I've spent that much hours in my lifetime in like Star Wars: The Republic, but damn. All right, let's leave this is.
So as most of you guys know, I have been recently playing a lot of Battlefront 2 again, and last night was no different. I was playing the game, having a great time, and then out of nowhere, I said,
all right, already, F his jump cuts. I hate that shit. F his jump cuts.
I ran into the greatest Battlefront 2 player of all time. And this dude is so good that you have to pay him $100 just to even 1v1 him. Now, mind you, I've played this game for a very long time, and I've never heard of this guy before. So I asked him, I was like, why? Like, nobody's paying you $100 to 1v1 you, bro. And all he said to me was, check my profile. And when I checked his profile, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This dude supposedly has a 1v1 record of 491-7.
I already hate this editing style. No, this editing style is dog shit. Oh, I'm going to cut in famous other YouTubers. I'm going to jump cut. No, fuck that. I hate that style. It is low-hanging, cheap-ass style.
Who is this guy? So I was like, all right, I gotta 1v1 this guy for a video. I have to make it happen somehow. So I went ahead and I told him, I will pay you the $100 to 1v1 you, but if I beat you, you have to send me the money back. Now also, the whole time I'm talking to him, I'm on a alt account that's a very low level because I'm trying to get footage for another video. So he had no idea he was talking to Ahsoka, but he agreed to send the money back if I beat him. So cool, I went ahead.
I think I've sort of watched one of this guy's 1v1 videos way in the past. I think I have. I don't know.
And I sent him the money. So after sitting on the phone with PayPal for...
Wait a minute. So this, all right, first of all, I'm never going to send any rando money like that for something like that if it has been earned. I mean, you guys send me money, but I've earned your trust at this point, and I'm providing you entertainment. I'm not going to send some rando on a freaking game money just to play him. I would need evidence. And his first of all, this guy's a fucking idiot. This is retardation. You're just gonna believe his 1v1 score listed there. I'm 491 and 7. Can I get a video, a recording of you being this ultra badass? I need evidence first to know that I'm fighting somebody for real, playing some real. This is already dumb.
For like 3 hours. I couldn't get my money back. So I was pissed off because, you know, I'm broke as hell, and now I'm even broker.
You're broke as hell? Hold on a second. You just got 2.8 million views on this video. That's a lot of freaking money. You just got 2.8 million views on this video. You're not broke as hell. Shut the hell up, liar. This is retarded.
So I got on my main account, I
mean, look, you've got a... Let's take it aside real quick here. Let's take it aside real quick. Let's go to his main channel. Let's go to his channel right here. Oh, I forgot. It's... Oh, shit, I forgot. It's... I forgot. It's Chrome. You can't go over. So let me just copy, make a new tab. Hold on one second. Let's go over here real quick. Let's take it aside. I want to look at this dumbass's channel real quick. All right? Hold on a second. Okay, let's go to his channel real quick. All right, let me bring it up here. Let's take a look at his channel. Let's take a look at what he does on a regular basis for views. Okay, so he's got 236,000 subs, but only made 11 videos. Okay, I have watched some of this guy's shit in the past. I've seen this one way in the past. I've watched this one from 3 years ago. I watched a couple of these older ones here. I'll see a couple of these. Okay, so he makes like one video every year. How do you have 236,000 subs and you make like no videos? You make one video a few years ago and you get all these. I don't get this. He's big on Twitch. Then he's definitely not fucking poor. What a fucking loser. I hate this guy already. Fucking hate this guy. All right. I knew this felt familiar to me. I've looked at this dude before. One of his older ones. All right. Back to this nonsense.
Ahsoka account, and I sent him a message, a very friendly one.
Right, I'll tell you what, you fat little...
And this message was enough to actually...
Stop with the fucking jump cuts! Just tell your fucking story!
...get him to want to 1v1 me, because once he figured out he was talking to Ahsoka, he flipped the fuck out. And not because he's a fan, but because he actually hates my guts.
Every single person who watches your videos are fucking stupid.
So I'm gonna 1v1 this.
I'm siding with the grifter, the guy who stole his money. I'm siding with him right now.
Guy. And if he beats me, he gets to keep the money. But if I beat him, he's gonna send me the money back. Hopefully.
I sort of understand this because the cards, you earn them, you unlock them in hero battle and stuff like that. It's, yeah.
I'm gonna get my money back, Capos.
You don't leave me any harm.
Think you just take my money like that? Come on, fight me, bro. You got Vader, be aggressive, come on. Okay. Let me regen this real quick. Let me get my health back.
I hate the music. His mixing is terrible. The music is overriding everything else.
He has Vader, you know, like, it's never easy with Vader. Yeah, hook swing. Yeah, parry. Get back. I knew it. I knew it. Come on.
I'm bored. No, this is not peak. This is retarded. This is dumb. And his voiceover is terrible. I mean, listen, you guys listen to me play games all the time where I'm doing voiceover work, where I'm talking, where I'm playing. First of all, if you've done enough of these videos, obviously, adjust your goddamn audio levels. I don't want to hear the freaking music. We can barely hear you. This is not peak. So, yay, watching two idiots do a 1v1. I don't care. This is why I hate this competitive bullshit. You're not peak. You're morons.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, he knows how to parry. He's a lot better than I expected, that's for sure. Oh my god. No. I'm not dying to you, bro. You're not killing me. I don't care. No. He fucking hurt me. Wait, he has cards on.
So that
All right. You're an idiot.
was a fucking lie.
So he just sent me a message and he said, "You fucking suck." It shouldn't matter. You're a YouTuber.
What?
So why?
He's not much of a YouTuber with 11 videos. He gets lucky because he made some fucking cringe-ass viral him fighting other morons. Because and I've seen his other videos. He baits people into fighting him. That's his other videos. He baits people into fighting him.
Why did you make it a rule then? Because I knew if you got Darkseid first, you were going to use him. Okay, so we're not counting that as a win then. You literally broke your own rules that you set. Like, what?
I hate this music. I hate everything about this. This is not fun. This is the lowest form of gaming. This is not competitive. It's not interesting. These are the lowest form of gamers right here.
Okay, then you're not getting your money back. Look at you. You don't got Vader anymore. Wait, he has Flesh's weak on. Bruh. Look at that. He has Flesh's weak on.
So that was a fucking lie.
Nah, don't run. Dog, come here. Fight me like a man. Come on. Yeah, get parried. You can't do any. Look at him. This is what I'm fighting. Look. Come on. Yeah, there you go.
This is so maddeningly dumb. There's better ways to do this. There's better ways to edit this. This is an editing nightmare in terms of the audio. I'm annoyed by the audio more than anything. And his trash talking is weak as fuck.
I hate the animation. Oh my god, no. I'm not choking this. I'm not choking this, bro. You faked out. Come on. Yeah. Bro. Freaking tree got in the way.
I don't want to hear this anymore. What we needed again? You think you're witty? Stop putting in an Alex Jones. I think I'm kind of retarded. You think that's good editing? That's retarded. You are retarded. This is dumb. Why anybody willingly watches this and enjoys this? You must have a melted brain.
Oh yeah, come here. Oh yeah, he's dead. You're dead. So I sent him a message. I said, "See, that's what happens when you don't have a carded Vader. You get clapped." And he said,
God, this is the lowest form of YouTubing. It really is. But, people are going to be mindlessly watching and liking it, I guess.
"Don't think you're good. I was lagging."
This is the worst kind of video editing you can do.
This is a bad matchup, but this kid's trash. He's damn sure not 491-7. That's for sure. What? I should have hit him. Oh my god, bro, Dooku does so much damage. Alright, we're good though. I got size matters not on, so I can get my health back. Yep, 2 hits. Okay. Alright, let me calm down. Forgot. Look at him teabag it. Dude, you're not killing me. I hope you know that. You're not killing me without Vader. This dude probably
I hope this dumb son of a bitch loses. I really do.
thinks he's so good too.
Yeah, boy.
Come on, I'm gonna get you a one combo and I'm gonna kill you. Come on, I can wait here all day. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, look at his health. Come here, come here. Yeah, come here. Oh, yeah, teabag now. Yeah, teabag now. Teabag now, yeah. Teabag now. How you like that teabag? Eat that up, eat that up.
A pocket for that shit.
So I sent him a message and I said, how did that teabag taste? And he didn't say nothing back. Oh yeah, he's angry. Yeah, he's mad.
This is some of the worst trash talking I've ever heard. Trash talking back and forth on PlayStation Network is retarded.
You didn't like that message, huh? He got one hit in, really? Alright, he's already at half health, so. Yep, one hit. Oh, look at that hook! Come on. You got a sliver of health left. Look at you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna...
Is this nigga serious?
You so...
Yay, I'm gonna get in a gamer word clip in there. Makes me edgy with my video. My eye is starting to hurt. I guess my eye is suddenly hurting me. It's telling me we need to hurry up and end this.
I'm lagging!
Shut your bitch ass the fuck up!
Thought that was gonna hit me? Come on, Captain. Who's in the back are going crazy? Oh my god. Look, you don't even know what you're doing, bro. You're just swinging. You're just pressing buttons. Look at you.
I'm trying. Stop. Do you honestly think you're fucking funny?
So he just told me, lag switching, are we? Like Kappas, bro, we can all clearly see you have not been lagging this entire time. Nobody is lag switching you, bro. Since you want to cheat, I'm changing the rules. If you want your money back, you have to beat me on this final round. So the last character I got is Yoda. And guess who he is? Darth fucking Vader. I should quit, but I need the money. He knew this was my last character. That's why he did this shit. Alright, I can win this though. I can win this though. I'm gonna get that money back, I promise you, bro. Come on.
I hate everything about this.
There's a choke. Alright, let's start fucking him up.
This music makes it worse. It's oppressive. Everything about this is oppressively stupid.
Come on, this is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, lunge. Oh, to it! Yeah, come here. Can we gen in? Yep. Alright, you might have a choke. Let me chill. Okay, I know, he has a choke again. So I gotta be careful here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna still be aggressive. Fuck, okay, we're good. When you pop focus rays, look, I guarantee you he has cards up. I guarantee it. Look, when I hit him, look at the shield that pops up. Look at that. You made your own rules just to break them. That's crazy. And I'm still gonna clap you.
Wait.
Look at him, trying to taunt. Yeah, taunt that. Look at you. Yeah, look how low you are. Yo, you're fucked. Yeah, come here.
them to bring me my money.
He even left the game. He left the fucking game. Oh my god.
No.
Good. That's it? That's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. That's just retarded. That is Ahsoka, and I've seen this shit before. He's a retard. He's retarded. That you build your life around fucking Battlefront 2 as your go-to, the thing that makes you famous. I'm sorry. This is the lowest form of gaming. You want to show me good gaming? Why don't you work with a team in real PvP? Go play Star Wars: The Old Republic, where that's good PvP. You actually work like a team to win shit, not be a grandstanding 1v1er. There's no real skill in that. It's knowing timing and shit like that, and knowing the cards to use in this shit. I mean, I'm not saying I could do it. I'm just saying this is the lowest form of competitive gaming. That was retarded and stupid. I mean, I probably think it's retarded and stupid for different reasons than Jed does, but that was dumb. That was not cool. That was not cool. There's nothing cool about that at all. There's nothing fun about that. There's nothing fun about that at all. It's just a lame-ass, low-rent Twitch gamer milking a dumb audience for views and clicks. I hated every second of that. I mean, I guess if you love Battlefront, you think that's cool. I do not. I think that is just boring gaming. That's boring gaming. That's not exciting to me. Not exciting. All right, let's check Stream Elements one more. If we got nothing else. Nope, that is it. So we're going to wrap it up because it is 3 p.m. my time, and I have to go out and get some stuff done. Now, what's the rest of the day look like? I want to do a gaming stream tonight. I'd like to play some Expedition 33, but I have to go out and I still have to do other things at home. I'm still trying to get this done for this week. We might have to keep pushing it back as the month book again because I finding time to read while we're doing everything is really rough. And I have to be calm to sit down and read a book. And I'm hyper right now. This made me hyper. So I'm going to try and get a gaming stream tonight. If it does happen, it'll happen somewhere between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Rest of the week, we've got Thursday and Friday left. Nothing. I also try and do a gaming stream tomorrow night. We'll try that as well. I should be able to do that pretty easily. I'll have leftovers, so I won't have to do extra shit. Friday, Ballbusters. I'm not sure who our guest is. Again, I have no idea. We've got this show rest of the week. And then on Saturday Drive-In, we've got the fan choice movie for the quarter is The Apple Dumpling Gang, 1970s Disney. Let's see. Oh, and I'm put this out to you guys now. I mentioned it last night on the Wheel of Time Autopsy stream, but I'm mentioning it now. One of the things I want to put in your hands, because I'm not exactly sure if always it's something, what the right content is for this new stream. I got 2 streams coming that you guys are going to be able to effectively influence through your donations. We'll just say it like that. One, after we do the Doctor Who Nerdgasm in a week or so, future Nerdgasms will be essentially influenced by you guys. What you want to see us talk about? What's something you want to see us nerd out over for a couple of hours? So I'm going to put that in your hands. At the same time, we've got a new show coming up. I've been putting it off due to a lot of other things, but I do want to do it. But I've decided that later, Jet. I'll see you later. What I want to do is new show. I've mentioned before, Nerd Fight. Essentially, it's a debate show. 1 moderator, 2 people. I'm not necessarily, I could be either one of them. You're the moderator of this. I've been trying to figure out an idea for the first one, but I've drawn a blank. So what I'm going to do in the coming weeks is I'm going to put it in your hands. What do you guys want to see two nerds really fight about that could have opposing views on a piece, on an IP, this or that? So I want you guys, your influence, that when I think about it at the right moment, I'll put it up there and you guys can give me your thoughts. And then when we got a couple thoughts, you guys will figure out how you guys are going to choose it. So Nerd Fight will be influenced by you, and we can get people from all over, hopefully our sphere, to participate in this, where they just have a good old-fashioned nerd fight. And the way Nerd Fight will work is once the topic is chosen, the participants are chosen, each side would have a week to build their case. I had a Pokemon was my first idea, and I wanted it to be Dermy versus Beardo, but I can't figure out where they differ. That's the problem. Neither one, as when questioned, we don't know where they differ. That's a problem. But and Dermy and Cloud fighting on Nerd Fight, that's not going to be. You already said that's not going to be good. You know that's not going to be good, Kratos. Dermy's going to win that just by yelling alone. So I'm gonna let's come up with some ideas, and we will have you guys decide what it's going to be, and then maybe it's something that I'm going to want to fight about. Maybe it's something that is going to be two other people, and I'm the moderator. So that's how that show's going to work. But I'm hoping to get that off the ground, if not this month, but next month, because we've got so many streams going on. So there it is. So thank you guys for joining me for another Double D's. I hope you had a good time. Best way to show that right now as we end the show is hit that like button, share out the channel. As we close out today, we are still at 3,970 subscribers. We are 30 away from 4,000. That is our goal this month. Get me to 4,000. I think we can do it. You guys are fantastic. Without you guys, none of this happens. You guys have made this show a rousing success for a month. You've helped breathe fresh life in the channel by supporting me in this endeavor and helping me make the channel be a steady source of income so that in the next few months, I can pick up and move to Florida and be where I want to be. So thank you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.